All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another edition of the Uber Farmer Cigar Deck Talks. We were able to pull off another week, just barely out here on the deck. We had rain coming in, we've got heat storms coming in, thunderstorms, tornadoes, you name it. And the sun is rapidly setting, getting lower and lower in the sky in each of these videos. But we risked it, we came back out. So what are we smoking, what are we drinking? We're smoking the Oscar from Oscar Valderas. It's a fun little cigar that comes with this little tobacco wrapper as its wrapper. Nice, it's actually good, smooth draw. Really enjoying it. And I did find you were supposed to remove that wrapper, not just smoke through it, so I did. What are we drinking tonight? From the Cuna Brewing Company, Red Ridge. Nice red ale. Super excited about this one. Yep, kind of what I thought it looked like coming out of the can. Lighter red ale. It should still be just as tasty though. Let's give her a try here. Yep, this is the one that has the orange blood fruit, I think it is. Blood orange ale. Okay. Yep, blood orange citrus. Not bad, not bad. Kind of a nice lighter beer. Probably one better served to have in the middle of summer. Although it's going to be like 100 degrees up here in the UP. Kind of crazy for the end of July to be getting 100-degree weather. So what are we talking about tonight? Well, what we're talking about is an interesting conversation I had, my daughter actually had, with an older gentleman. We went to a homesteading and preparedness, emergency preparedness sorry about that. Had a phone call had to take to pause the video for, but we're back. I'm talking about this homesteading prepping conference. It turned out to be less about homesteading, less about prepping, more about conspiracy theories, and some more fringe views, if you will. Which, whatever, it still was a lot of fun to go out there and meet people. And I gave a little presentation about wilderness medicine and backwoods injuries. So that was a lot of fun. But they asked, and we kind of had the kids do little mini classes. So they had, I think, 7 classes that they would teach. You could ask them about them, and then they do a quick little 3 to 5 minute little lesson. And one of the guys had, one of these older gentlemen had my daughter do 2 or 3 lessons, and he complimented her on her ability to present and speak. And then he told the sad part is, he's like, 100 years ago, everything you're teaching, it wasn't something you had to learn. It was just something you knew. Much like using an iPhone or an iPad. It's not something you have to really teach kids these days, right? They just know. They just know how to do it. Surfing the internet, it's not something you really have to teach. It's just something you know. He said things like canning, which blows his mind that we have to teach people how to can. That people don't just know how to can right out the box. Or to make maple syrup, or to go trapping, or to brew. He said, these are really forgotten topics, forgotten lessons that he firmly believes is the biggest travesty of the 21st century. It was very interesting talking. Hear my daughter relay this story. I didn't get to talk to the guy, but to hear her relay this story about this guy talking about that stuff just should never have been forgotten in the first place. And we do. We have a whole generation, maybe even 2 generations, who at best might have seen this in a movie. Maybe they read about it online. But as far as ever having firsthand experience with it, forget that. Maybe grandma, right? Maybe grandma did it or great-grandma did it. Which is unfortunate, because these skills one, are timeless. They really transcend time, and they can be useful and a way to save money and make money. And they're just good skills to know. Canning being one of the best. I mean, I absolutely love canning. Trapping is a very fun skill, a good way to be able to get rid of pests, on your property, and to know how to get rid of them lethally or get rid of them non-lethally. We live in an era of someone else has to do it. Someone else will fix my car. Someone else will. I'll pay someone to come fix the hole in my ceiling. We don't just know how to do that stuff. It even shocked me how many of those simple home maintenance and home improvement skills that people don't have. And that's just interesting. Interesting to think about that. We live in a society today where we're so disconnected. I mean, back when I was a kid, there was the whole, like, people are starting to get disconnected from where their food comes, because we started having stuff like Walmarts and the super shopping centers. No more did you have to go to the local co-op, and when the butcher was in, and ask tell him what type of cuts of meat you wanted, or to see him in the back slicing up meat, or to only have maybe pigs in the fall when they're ready for slaughter. Now, especially in America, we can have any product any time of the year, any produce any time of the year, with a mere swipe of a credit card. I got into a little debate a while ago about veganism, and they talk about, they were telling me how it'll save the environment, and I told them there's no way. Places like up here, you could never be a vegan. Traditionally, all your food has to be shipped in. In the UP up here, you have to have meats and fats throughout the winter. Cabbage doesn't grow so well when it's 40 below. Neither does your tomatoes, unless you invest a lot of time, effort, and energy, which the energy part is not very green. That's kind of anti-green, actually, when you think about it. So, yeah, we've lost that awareness of where our food comes from. We've lost that awareness of how certain things work. How does a car work? How does electricity get to your house? How does the frame and the structure and the roof and the foundation all interweave and connect together? How far apart are studs in a wall? Stuff that, again, mostly you just know. You shouldn't have to learn that, but we are in this place where we do. We have to learn it. There's so many things, I think, that in our day-to-day life that it would be hard to know how they work. Take a cell phone, for instance. To actually understand more than just the basic function. What's a microprocessor? What are superconductors? The LCD touchscreens. We now have technology where it's said that it's impossible for one person to know everything about it, know how a cell phone goes together and all the intricate pieces. We just use previous knowledge and build off of it. Same thing with even cars today. I know I still own a car that I can technically do maintenance on if I wanted to. I'm not the best mechanic in the world, but I can show you where the manifolds are. I can show you where the spark plugs are, the distributor cap. That's all stuff I know where it's at. I can point to it. But in modern cars, there's so much electronics and technology built in. I couldn't name half of these new pieces that are inside a car, and I don't think many people can outside of well-qualified and certified mechanics. It's interesting to see the knowledge we're losing. Stuff that was just known. You just knew how to you knew how to preserve food. You knew how to dispatch an animal. You knew how to just walk out into the woods and find something edible. Again, that was just known. Not something you had to learn or pick up a book or do research and watch YouTube and TikTok videos. You just knew it. And that's an interesting place we're in now. that we've moved away from what used to just be common knowledge. Something to ruminate on, something to think about. 100 years ago, no one had to be taught this, we just had to know it. Be interesting to see what in 100 years, what is the new forgotten knowledge? Is using a cell phone going to become something you got to teach people how to use a cell phone because we've moved on to the next piece of technology? And it's no longer just something you know how to do. Well, like I said, food for thought. Hope everyone's doing good out there. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next one.